These are the 6 pillars of health. So they start with exercise and movement, nutrition and hydration. Then you've got sleep, and you've got mindset, you've got stress management. And the final pillar is...
What made you come up with those 6 pillars though?
Because I've studied it my whole life.
And I was listening to the David Goggins book, Can't Hurt Me. That removed the fear of it.
You keep making small amounts of progress each time, you'll make massive progress over time. Whereas if you think it has to be, day 1, pick up the bar, day 2, 200 kilo deadlift. It's probably not going to happen that way. A healthy man has 1,000 problems. An unhealthy man has 1 problem. If you had, God forbid, cancer or something that's really serious kind of disease or some kind of diagnosis where it's going to really affect your life, that's all you'll think about until you solve it. That's why health is wealth.
Yeah, what would a good structured exercise sort of schedule look like in a week?
Yeah. So I would do...
Welcome to Working On It, the podcast for service-based business founders who want to scale without burning out. Today's guest is Byron Munford. Byron is an expert in personal health and fitness and knows his stuff when it comes to strength, training and overall fitness. Thank you very much for listening, and let's crack on with the episode. Byron, thank you very much for coming on Working On It.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. So the reason I wanted to get you on was because I've looked at some of your work and stuff, and so Working On It is a podcast to help service-based business owners develop a business that works well without them, and then they can then go out and buy back their time and live the life that they want to live.
Awesome.
So, but I'm a big believer in you can't do any of that if you haven't got a healthy body and mind.
Absolutely.
That's where you come in.
Enter Byron.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah, exactly, that's it. So, if my research's done me right, you're a competitive weightlifter, and a health and performance coach, and founder of Lifestyle Revolution.
Correct.
Yes.
Very good.
And what got you into all this, and why lifting?
So I started training pretty young. I would say, quite a aggressive kid. And my mum was like, right, you need
aggressive or progressive?
Well, you can say both.
Aggressive, okay.
But I just had a lot of energy and didn't know how to use it.
I see.
So mum was like, right, we need to sort you out. So my karate teacher was my swimming teacher.
Right. Oh.
And mum was like, right, you should do something where you're more active, getting rid of your energy. So my swimming teacher became my karate teacher, as I mentioned. And then I just progressed really well in karate, got to black belt and just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then from there, I tried other martial arts. I did jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling, Thai boxing, just loved it all. I loved the variation and trying new things.
Yeah.
And then when I was about 16, I found CrossFit, which back then wasn't really a big thing. It was more in America. It was quite hard to find in the UK. And I just really enjoyed the workouts because they were so hard. And in that, I had Olympic weightlifting. And I just really enjoyed the challenge because it was not just lifting heavy weights. It was flexibility, being dynamic, being coordinated, being fast, being powerful, so many things at once. And it was just a real challenge.
Yeah.
And then from there, I just enjoyed it more. And I don't know if you know much about CrossFit, but it has elements of weightlifting, running, gymnastics, all different elements combined into one.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. And then I just started doing gymnastics and weightlifting separately. And it turns out I was quite good at weightlifting. So I was like, let's give this a go. I was pretty late in the game, to be fair, to do it, because most weightlifters start really young.
Yeah.
I started martial arts young, but not weightlifting. And then, I just really enjoyed the challenge.
Yeah.
It just really made me excited to do it,
Yeah, that's brilliant. And is that what the new term now is, hybrid athlete?
You could say
It'd
that.
probably come on that, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think because people were realizing you're not always pigeonholed to one thing. Yeah. If you say you're a powerlifter, you only do this, which is valid, right? But I think more and more now, especially if you follow CrossFit. Yeah. Because CrossFit has proven there are people out there that can do all kinds of things. They can run fast, jump high, lift heavy weights, run for a long time. So if you train all elements, you're able to keep skills. But if you only believe you can only do one thing, fair enough, go do your thing. But I believe whatever you want to do is what you'll do. Yeah. If you put your heart and soul into it and you really enjoy it, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think we're getting quite in depth earlier on, actually, but you've just sort of just mentioned quite a lot of stuff. And what I've sort of like realised is like the power of body if you just put your mind to it.
Yeah.
And the person that kind of showed me that was David Goggins.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah.
So when I was doing a marathon training some years ago, there was this hill up in Banstead, me and my people used to work out, we've called Heartbreak Hill,
right?
Because it's sort of like whenever you get to the top, you feel like you've broken your heart. Do you know what I mean? Like
it was that hard.
Yeah, it was literally that hard.
Yeah.
And it was 1.9 of miles of constant climbing.
Wow.
So it was like it's constant uphill. You're like, and what happens is you get to a point where it bends round, and you think that bend is the end, but it isn't. You get round the corner, it's about another mile to go. So it really just like leaves you in pieces.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the David Goggins book, Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah.
One time when I'd done this, I went out running on my own, and I felt so good that I'd done it twice.
In the same day?
Oh, yeah. I went looped round,
and
I thought, do you know what? I'm feeling really good. He was talking about doing 4,000 pull-ups or something, the challenge he was doing.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm going to go up it again. And I took a picture of me going up it again, just to show to my friends. Say, listen, it's no longer heartbreak. I've done it twice. And do you know what? That removed the fear of it. Because we used to fear it. Every time we say, oh, heartbreak, no, we'll leave heartbreak. We're doing that once a month. It takes, we're knackered after. I literally done twice, all because I just changed my mindset. Because listening to this, but when I ran, I used to listen to the audio books. I was listening to this particular piece at the time. And I was like, I'm going to do it twice.
It's the 40% rule we talked about, right?
Yeah.
When you get tired, that's when you think you want to quit, you think you're done. Yeah. That's when you're at 40% of what you can actually do. Because I've actually studied a lot of neuroscience. I recently went on a course for it as well. And they looked at like elite athletes and the average person will only ever contract 30 to 40% of their max muscular units. So if you pick up a heavy weight or you run at a certain speed, most people will only really get to 40%. But elite athletes can tap into a greater percentage where they're lifting or using 80, even 90%.
Yeah.
If you get to 100%, you'll probably die. But because it's basically a safety thing. Like if you max out your body's energy, it can't repair and go again. Yeah. So that's why it's like most people don't ever go to that level because of the recovery that it takes.
Right.
But there is a lot more in you than what you think. That makes sense.
Yeah, perfect sense. Yeah, I mean, there's this,
Sorry, I'm just reading it off. I'm reading your mind, don't I?
So I tell you what, you are. I tell you what. Let's quickly jump to that because I've got a question later on. So if I do repeat it, please forgive me. But it was just to say that, so with that in mind, I mean, there's so much because you've got nutrition. Athletes are trained in nutrition. They're educated in nutrition and resting. Yeah. So whereas the normal person, we say normal, but let's say the average Joe, whatever, is not, or perhaps not as much. So, and also they don't believe it as much as well because like until you've actually done it yourself, then you realize. Like, I've just earlier on in the year, I kind of like really respected sleep a lot more. Yeah. And I've realized what I actually need to get a good day, to make better decisions and to train better and to recover better. So I only realized that, and I've been like training for years. You know what I mean? So it's only recently I've learned that. Whereas the athletes would have gone, right, here you go, here's your day one. You got to sleep, you got to drink this, eat that, and so on. Yeah. So do you think there is that kind of, is it that? Because then what I was going to ask is, obviously you've trained, and again, I hope I've done research right, athletes and like executives. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So one of my questions was to ask is, do you think there's any similarities in their attitude and the way they approach difficult periods or fears or challenges? Or do you think there is such a vast difference because of education and what they know? Absolutely.
I think there's definitely commonalities in their mindset as well as the resilience. Yeah. I would say pain is really important to understand because pain is perception. Pain to one person is life. So if you punched a professional boxer in the face and then punched a regular person in the face, there'll be a very different response because of what they condition themselves to do. So executives who operate to a high level, run big companies, multi-million-dollar companies or pounds, would go through a lot of stress. And that becomes more like daily life. Yeah. And athletes are the same. You know, it's no different from someone else doing it, but they just condition their mind. Obviously, you've got genetics aside as a factor, but they condition their mind, this is normal. So you do something and then you think, right, this is just life. It's hard, and it's painful at times. And by painful, I don't mean like you're causing yourself physical harm, but it is just hard. Like if you run up a hill you were mentioning before, it's going to be hard on your lungs. Your legs are going to hurt. That's part of the process.
Yeah.
But if you can't accept that and you think that every bit of pain you feel is bad, you will never progress that far because you're already limiting yourself. Like what you were saying earlier about belief.
Yeah.
If you believe you can do it, you will. If you don't, you won't.
Yeah. You know? And I think that's probably a big thing, because the athletes, to get to that level is really like just the elite of the elite, isn't it? Really, like, you know, when you look at football, you look at running is a weird one, because you look at people that are running like 4-minute miling and you're like, they're literally jogging. So you think that's easy, I'll go and jog. And then you're doing 12-minute miling, you're like, how can I get to 4-minute miling? But it's just all of the training that goes with it, but it's all of the hard hours that they've put in beforehand, like you say, to raise their hard, if you like, you know, like what they consider hard,
what normal is,
or normal even, exactly what normal is, and then the next level, etc., and what they're capable of. But I think with that, with the executives and the business owners and such, you are also doing the same thing, but in your field. You know,
that's why I understand them, because in terms of what I do, I know how hard it is to run a business, and I know what it takes, and I know the side of being busy and time and being efficient with things and delegating things and making things easier system wise. Which is why I developed a system to help clients to be able to make their life easier, make results, and feel better. Because it's about, obviously you can make money and be financially successful, but if you don't feel good, because at the end of the day, health is wealth, right?
That is so true. Yeah, it really is so true. And also, like with that though, you can't. There was a thing that I saw the other day, and a friend of mine, it was on LinkedIn. He'd hurt his eye, and he's saying like how he'd just really, you know, come down a little bit, and he's running a business, etc. But he said he spent the weekend feeling quite low, etc. But he had neglected his health in a sense. And I put that post up. I think it was Mike somebody, I forget his name, Mike Goodman or something like that. And it's a bit of a humorous video, but it's sort of like you've got two things in life. And it basically goes on about health. And if you're healthy, then you've got nothing to worry about. If you're unhealthy, you've got two things to worry about. Because if you're going to survive, he goes, if you survive, you've got nothing to worry about. If you don't, you've got two things to worry about. And it kind of goes on. But I know it's funny, but it's so true. Because if you're unhealthy or you have an illness, all of a sudden that's your only thing in your head. You know, but when you're healthy, when you take it for granted sometimes, you can then take on so much more. So it's so true what you say about health is wealth, you know. There's a
quote that really resonates with me. It's similar to what you said. It's a healthy man has 1,000 problems. An unhealthy man has one problem. And, you know, if you had, like, God forbid, like cancer or something that's really serious kind of disease or some kind of diagnosis where it's going to really affect your life, that's all you'll think about until you solve it.
That's it. You
know, so that's why health is wealth.
And everything else just sort of like just gets put to the bottom of the pile, doesn't it? You know, it just really gives you perspective. And that's why I think with the being proactive with your exercising and the structure, etc., and that sort of thing, even if it's just like a 20-30 minute walk, you know, it's just keeping things moving, isn't it? You know. But I know you've gone to another level though. So what are you currently at now for your heaviest lift over 3?
Do you mean like snatch and clean and jerk?
Yeah. You put it on the post the other day, was it? Something crazy. What was it?
Best snatch was 111 kilos and best clean and jerk was 145.
That is crazy.
So snatch is in one movement, clean and jerk is to the shoulders and above your head.
Yeah, that is crazy. And what's your best deadlift?
240.
My best was when I was training for it for about 8 weeks was 197.
Awesome.
And that was literally I could only do 2 and I was on the floor. But it's so funny how you can go for a run and you can run like 10, 12 miles. And okay, after a while your body gets used to it. And yes, it is tiresome after a while. And at the end of it, you have to walk to calm down. But you do heavy lifting and you're out of breath for a while, aren't you? Why is that?
It's the pressure. It's pressure regulation. So like to be able to lift a really heavy weight, you've got to like compress everything and keep tension so you secure your spine, your tendons, your ligaments, so that nothing snaps basically.
Yeah.
And then you let the breath go and it's like a big shock to the system, you know?
Right.
But the thing with Olympic weightlifting is that it's not necessarily like the weights are heavy, but it's the speed that matters. Because if you watch that versus like powerlifting, obviously powerlifters are pretty fast, but weightlifting, the speed is king. If you're not fast, you won't lift the weight.
Right. Do you mean sort of like to go to transition to the movement? Yeah. Okay, right. I see.
And the explosive power you need is just much greater.
Yeah.
So it's a very different kind of sport.
Yeah. And do you think that comes from, like, I guess gymnastics and that sort of thing helps that?
It does help, yeah. Like the coordination element of gymnastics, because it's just like total body coordination.
Yeah.
And if you ever watch, even things like CrossFit is a good example where, like, especially the ladies in CrossFit, they're awesome. A lot of them are like great gymnasts because they can just coordinate so well. They just learn any movement easier.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And but is that similar to the High Rock stuff that's out now?
No. So High Rocks is High Rocks is great. I would say High Rocks is like a really simple version of CrossFit.
Right.
I wouldn't knock it at all. It's great. I think it's just, it takes out a lot of the risk elements. So CrossFit is like learning really technical movements at really high intensity. High Rocks is really high intensity, but it's more simple movements, which is, I feel, is a bit harder to get injured on. Whereas CrossFit, really? Like the injury risk is much higher unless you've got the technical components down. So I think it's great, especially for the older population. Like, so there's a lot more people that are doing High Rocks that are much older, that are smashing it just because they found something they can do. It's obviously really popular now as well, right?
It is. It's a big craze, isn't it, going on?
But they found something they can do where the risk of injury is quite low. So I feel like it's great. It's really good. I always support any form of exercise generally.
I was going to say, I bet you would actually, wouldn't you? So whatever it is, as long as people are moving and being healthy and active, that's got to be a good thing, isn't
One thing I would say that's really important for all ages is strength training. If you don't do strength training, you'll lose muscle mass, your bones will degrade, a lot of things will decrease if you don't do that.
Yeah.
So you're always better off keeping that in some form, regardless of what you do, whether you do yoga or running marathons, whatever you choose to do. As long as you're doing some form of strength training alongside the other forms you like doing, whether it's dance, art, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're doing that alongside, you'll get a lot of health benefits as opposed to just doing yoga, for example.
So just on that then, so it was sort of like the strength training, I kind of went to the back, I don't know, sort of like people's mind or, not the conversation priorities for some time, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's always, the fitness industry is ever changing.
Yeah.
And there's always, you can debate about anything for hours, about nutrition, about training, about sleep, whatever.
Yeah.
There will be endless debates, especially nutrition.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest minefield there is.
Because the big thing at the moment is all protein. I mean, a big thing for ages has been protein, but it's kind of sort of like surfaced again, isn't it? Like all about protein and to take on board what you need to take on per kilogram and so on and so on. So just on the weight thing.
Yeah.
So we're skipping ahead a few, but why not? Let's go for it. The purpose of it is to have a conversation to let it flow, is it really? Not a structure as such. But so on the weight thing, let's say, for instance, if you wanted to put together your own program and the weight lifting kind of, like I said, like disappeared a little bit. It wasn't really top topic because obviously the CrossFit and such was we're talking marathons and all this sort of cardio stuff. So talk about the weight stuff. Let's say, for instance, if you had a week, what would be a good balanced week? Just sort of like just an overview. So like what, 3 times a week weightlifting?
Yeah, I would say strength training at least.
Strength training, sorry, yeah.
It depends on the person. Just to be clear, like strength training doesn't always mean barbell. It could be dumbbell, it could be kettlebell, it could be body weight.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the age category. So if you got someone who's 82,
you're
not going to get them doing heavy clean and jerks. Do you know what I mean? They might be literally trying to sit on a chair and get up, which is fine. But it's just about something that's hard for them.
Yeah.
So resistance is literally any kind of external stimulus that could just be body weight. It could be, for someone who's 90, it could be just put your arms above your head, which could be challenging at that age, right?
Yeah.
So it's all relative to the person. So whenever I take on a client, I would just analyze their life and look at what they do, what they can't do, what they can do, what their current injuries are and their history. And you get a better idea of what they're capable of, as opposed to going, right, this is the only way, you have to do this. You know what I mean? They're all humans at the end of the day.
That's right.
So you've got to understand them on a human level. And then I always say, meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
If you meet someone where they're at, you get on much better, you have a nice conversation, you can understand them on a personal level, and then really give them a better service. as opposed to being too superficial. Like, this is the only way. You have to be somewhat adaptable to help people, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's really true, because like you say, everyone's got different abilities.
Yeah.
And also stress of their jobs, depending on that same person might have a different ability one Monday to the following Monday. They might have had good rest and not so stressful, and all of a sudden they can lift a lot more, etc. So it's not getting yourself too bogged down with that so much. It's like you say at the beginning, it's more just the fact that you're there, you're doing something rather than nothing at all. It's already a big tick in the box, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And I always say progression, not perfection.
Yeah.
If you're focused on making progress, which could be, if you're 1% better than yesterday, if you did that every single day, do the maths.
Yeah.
What's that going to compound to? Yeah. You know what compound interest is, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. So
that's what will happen. If you keep showing up, you keep making small amounts of progress each time, you'll make massive progress over time. Whereas if you think it has to be, day 1, pick up the bar, day 2, 200 kilo deadlift, it's probably not going to happen that way, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah. So with the weights, would it be like, let's say 3 times a week strength training of whatever your capability is? Yeah. What would you kind of buffer those with throughout the week?
As in, like, the exercises?
Yeah. Okay. What would a good structured exercise sort of like schedule look like in a week?
Yeah. So I would do combination of movements, some kind of hinge, which would be, so you're pushing the hips and knees back. It's easy to demonstrate, but I'll explain it. So like a deadlift or a kettlebell swing or an RDL, something where you're bending, having to stretch out the hamstrings, move the hips. And then some kind of squat movement, which could be a goblet squat, it could be a chair squat, it could be a front squat, whatever your level is.
Yeah.
Some kind of squat pattern, because they're basic human movements we need to keep.
Yeah.
To keep the joints healthy and load all the muscles properly.
Yeah.
And everyone's a little bit different with that. It's never going to be like, this is the perfect squat. It's going to be, what can the person do? What are their limitations? Do they have imbalances that we have to correct? That kind of thing. I would do some kind of single leg work, which could be like a split stance or a lunge or a single leg step down, something like that. Yeah. Something for hamstrings, which you do work in deadlifts, but more like hamstring curls, Nordics, hip extensions, stuff like that. Anything to work the back of the legs, because you want the back and the front of the legs to be balanced.
Yeah.
I would say some of the most undertrained body parts are like the ankle and the calves, because when you walk, literally the ankle is the joint that you push off.
Yeah.
Last, right? That's connected to the ground.
Yeah.
So if your ankle is not strong, that's going to really affect long-term walking, movement, running, jumping, anything like that.
Yeah.
So I would always train calves, whether you like to or not. Like, a lot of females tell me they hate training calves, but I'm like, it's going to help you.
Yeah. Especially with the ankles as well.
Yeah. If you run as well, right?
Yeah.
I would always, there's a lot of debate about core stuff, but I would always do something core related. Because I think that it's just not only training like resistance, but training control of the torso and the spine. Because think about it like this. It's weird that you're usually more likely to get injured doing silly things. Think about it like you drop a pen and you pick it up while someone's talking to you when you're twisting. You can deadlift 200 kilos, but you hurt your back picking up a pen.
You hear that so often, don't you?
Exactly, yeah. Or you
crazy.
sneeze, my back hurts.
That's it, yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of that's just like body awareness, movement control. I was talking about gymnastics because it's a similar kind of thing. It's just body awareness, moving your body through space better.
Yeah.
You have better control of your body and your core muscles. You'll have better control of just moving through space and less likelihood of injury.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously upper body as well. So like horizontal push and pull. So things like bench press, push-ups, dips, things like that. And then some kind of row variation where you're doing like bent over rows, dumbbell rows, face pulls, any kinds of exercise that are going to work all planes of motion. That makes sense. So horizontal is here, then obviously vertical in terms of like shoulder press, pull-ups, those kind of movements where I'd balance all that out. And then, bit of arm work as well. Throw that in there. I know that's quite a lot, but like I would pick fewer exercises personally.
Yeah.
But focus on more effective exercises.
Yeah, because you've got sort of like the bench press, like the pull-ups and the squats and the deadlifts, etc. They're sort of like compound, aren't they? Is that right?
Yeah, so compound means more than one joint.
That's it, yeah. So if you've literally got like 45 minutes, you kind of want to focus on these. Is that right? And then you kind of you get more bang for your buck, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah? If you do like if you were to have less time, let's say, for example, you had, I don't know, 30 minutes, you could pick 4 exercises. You could have a time block and say, you're going to do these 4 exercises in this time block. I'm a big fan of time block work, or density training, I call it. So let's say I've got a client who's literally got 20 minutes. I've got some guys I train who are really busy executives and they've got 0 time, literally 0 time. They're back to back all day. And I'm like, right, what time have you got? I've got 20 minutes between the next meeting, or plus I've got a shower as well and get ready. Cool, fine, 20 minutes. Set a timer. You've got these 3 exercises to do, and you've got to do this amount of reps. Rest where you can, get water if you need, but just work for that amount of time.
Yeah.
And when you focus on that, as opposed to just do 3 sets of 10 and then rest this amount between sets, and then you sit on your phone and go on Instagram and you start scrolling, you just waste time.
That's it.
Whereas if you focus on, right, I have this amount of time, let's be effective. Like literally use a timer. Everyone's got an iPhone or an Android, right? Go on your clock, get a timer, set a timer for what time you have, and then work for that amount of time.
That's it. I think as well, like you say, with I've done sort of like Ironman things in the past as well, and they do time blocks.
Yeah.
So it's really good. That taught me all about time blocks. So sort of like, okay, run. You mean, oh, well, I've got to do like 20 miles. You're like, no, you haven't. You've got to run for 3 hours. So however speed, whatever mileage, 3 hours. You know, so you've got to keep moving for 3 hours, or a 2-hour bike ride or whatever. You think, well, how many miles is that? You think, well, however many miles you get. But you've got to go for 2 hours. Yeah. But you can really structure your day around that, can't you? It's so helpful doing it like that. I never knew that until I started that training, but it's exactly what you said. It's just perfect, isn't it? So you've taken that into the gym. So it's brilliant. Yeah. I can really see the benefit of that.
Absolutely. I think it's just making time efficient.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly that. You're being efficient with your time and trying to get the most out of it as possible. You know, certainly, like you're saying, certainly the guys you train is like with be so busy back to back non-stop, you know. So
I've got this one guy who's very successful man, runs 5 businesses.
Cool.
And big ones as well.
Yeah.
And he is literally back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
So one of his workouts one day was literally, I was like, right, I'll go to his house. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so let's map out a route that's a mile run. So we mapped out, literally I had a watch and I ran 800 meters because a mile's 1600 meters, right?
Oh,
so
okay,
I ran 800 meters, ran back with him. And I was like, that's a mile. So your goal is to beat this time. And it took him like 9 minutes, right? So his goal is to beat that. If he's got 10 minutes in his day, he can go and do that.
Yeah.
And even though it seems like, well, it's only a mile, but it's literally sometimes for some people, it's getting their foot in the door and going, right, what can I do? Rather than haven't got this, haven't got that, haven't got time, can't do this.
Yeah.
You go, right, well, what can you do?
Yeah.
Because I find with people I work with, sometimes they've got time, often they haven't. So it's like, right, let's make progress in some form. Yeah. But if you get your mile time down, you're making progress.
Exactly.
That's
it. Yeah. And also the steps are up as well. So it's movement away from the screens or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But just quickly, don't you think it's funny how it goes back to like the executives and the athletes, the attitude towards things? Like I look at like Elon Musk and that lot, and you think, well, they're running like these companies that are changing the world as we know it, and they got 3 and 4 on the go, 5, you know, however many they've got. And then, you know, like when you hear some people that just sort of like have a regular job, like normal hours, average hours, and they go, oh, I haven't got the time. You're like, how are you even saying that? You know,
that's just mentality though.
It is. It really is. It's funny. I find it quite fascinating, you know.
The best thing you can do to them kind of people, no disrespect to them, but get their phone up, go on screen time, and look at screen time going, there's your time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That is literally the best
3 hours social media.
That's the best hack. 5 hours on Instagram. Where did you get that time from? Like, that's the best hack, right?
Yeah.
4 hours on WhatsApp, 2 hours on Facebook.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
There's your time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's great. It's been logged all of the time, isn't it? Every day it's been logged.
Yeah.
So just quickly on the nutrition then.
Yeah.
So what's the thing, do you think, on the whole protein intake thing? Is it 1.6?
It depends on the person.
Right. Okay.
So it depends on body fat levels.
Right. Okay.
So the leaner you are, the higher percentage of muscle you are. So if you're, so let's say if you're, for argument's sake, you're 200 pounds, to make it easy for maths, right? And you're 10% body fat. Yeah. You're going to have more muscle mass than someone who's 200 pounds and 30% body fat.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're leaner, your body has more muscle mass and therefore it would need more protein.
Right.
It makes sense.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
So if you're more sedentary and you have more body fat, you'd still need protein if you're training, but you might need slightly less protein than someone who has a lower body fat. Yeah.
Right.
That being said, the beautiful benefit of protein is it's very hard to overeat. Why? Because it fills you up so much.
Yeah.
It's the most satiating nutrient you can eat. So basically you eat it, your brain will tell you you're full pretty quickly. Whereas carbs, and they're not the enemy by any means, right?
No.
But they will make you more hungry.
Right. Okay. That's
so you'll want to eat more.
Yeah.
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 So again, it's not to demonize. There's no one magic nutrient. They're all valuable. They're all useful. But the answer is always it depends on the person, on the situation, on their goals. I would always take that into account before I go blanket statement, you need this.
Yeah.
It would be like, right, no, what does the person require in their day?
Right.
Make sense?
Okay. Yeah. And I suppose they're training as well, what they're training. Like if you're doing cardio,
yeah,
like long, correct me if I'm wrong in this. I've literally just picked this up. I'm no professional. But if you're doing cardio, you're going to need sort of carbs just to sustain the longevity.
Well, it depends.
No? Okay.
It depends.
And if you're doing weights, you need like the protein, etc., to build the muscle, to help the muscle grow. Is that right? Or
well,
is this old
you
school?
need both. Because when, when you do cardio, you still work your muscles.
Yeah? Oh, I suppose
Obviously, your lungs are working. But, well, run a max effort 5K and tell me your calves and hamstrings don't work.
Yeah, yeah.
You're still
they're
working.
Screaming at you.
They're still working, right?
Yeah.
So you still need protein. But I would always say to people, like, you do need carbs. And the brain's preferred fuel source is carbs. But the leaner you are, the better you use carbs. Because you're more effective. Like if you have less body fat, your insulin levels are managed better. Your body's utilizing it better. Yeah. It's not to say everyone should go keto and eliminate it, but I'd have to work with a client on a deeper level to understand that from their point of view. But it's not just a case of eat low carb, eat high protein. It's a case of what's the individual's makeup, what's there, do they have any conditions or issues, like issues with the gut, stuff like that. There's loads of factors. It's never just, unfortunately, I can't give you a blanket statement left or right. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would say protein is undereaten and it's really hard to overeat.
But I find that it's actually really hard to get. So what would be really big protein sources? Because I've done it before where I've done it on MyFitnessPal and tried to track it. And I'm like, I've eaten loads of protein today. And I've like put it all in. And it's like 130 grams. You're like, what? I'm like, 70 off.
Is it the best sources you mean?
Yeah, yeah. What would you say is like the big go-to things? If you had to get like 180, 200 grams of protein in a day, what would be kind of the big go-tos?
Easiest ones, meat, fish, eggs.
Yeah?
Dairy as well.
Okay.
But so to give you a quick snapshot, chicken is around 25 grams per 100 grams, give or take. Some slightly different.
Okay.
But as a rough guide, beef is similar. Lamb is slightly less. Lamb's like 22 grams, sometimes 20, depending on the type of lamb. Yeah. Eggs are, for a medium egg, 6 grams per egg.
Okay.
Yeah, to give you a baseline. So let's say if you had 200 grams of chicken, roughly 50 grams.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had 300 grams of steak. Yeah. Then you're going to have 75 grams. So you're adding it up that way. Yeah, you had 6 eggs, 36 grams of protein.
Yeah. You're
building it out. If you work out the maths that way, it's a lot easier. A good one is Greek yogurt. So there's a brand called Fahi. It's spelled Fage. It's a very common brand, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen that one.
Yeah. They're great. So it's 9 grams per 100 grams of protein in that.
Yeah.
The biggest marketing scam is the excess use of like protein bars and shakes and stuff like that. Like, because if you go in the supermarket nowadays, or just even a general shop will sell it, like even like a petrol station, everything has protein in it because it is great for you and necessary. But you get Mars bars that have protein in it. Yeah. And I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but they are just scamming you. Yeah. It's just a chocolate bar with some like protein powder put in it. Like, if you're going to use it, just buy whey protein powder. Yeah. Then you get the actual benefit of the protein. But people are lying to themselves when they think that is like how you want to structure your diet. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather someone eat that than McDonald's. Yeah, yeah. But it's not a way to live life.
6 Mars bars in a day, I'll hit my protein target.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I think the Mars bars have like 20 grams of protein in them. The protein
Is
ones.
It really? Wow.
But you would think, that's a great way to do it. But It's just
well,
like
I don't know, but then you go on about all the protein bars and such, which are normally about 20 grams ish. Yeah. But then you give what else is in there? Because even like when people say about protein shakes, now I've learned this again this year, that you kind of look at what else is in there. So how many calories, etc., is the protein shake, and then what else is in there, and how much the percentage is actually protein, and where that protein originally came from. Yeah, and they're normally more expensive. And I think I found a good one. I have to show you another time, but the one I've got is like the grass-fed kind of protein, and
my man, grass-fed. That's good.
So with that, do you think there's anything that's like say when you had like a normal set of meat, let's say from Tesco's stand, didn't really read the packet, etc., and then you went to sort of like a little bit more of you looked into it a little bit deeper, and okay, right, grass-fed, like beef and so on and so on. Yeah. What's the difference, other than the obvious? But digging deeper, another layer, what would you say is the difference?
So it's the omega-3 content of the beef, and there's a fatty acid called CLA, conjugated linoleic acid, which helps to burn body fat. And there's less inflammatory markers. So basically, do you know how omega-3 and omega-6 works?
No.
So omega-3 is anti-inflammatory. Omega-6 is pro-inflammatory, so increases inflammation. This is a total different subject and debate.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
just give you a snapshot, right?
Okay, yeah.
But just a sort of a quick overview. You need both. You need inflammation and to increase and decrease inflammation to live, right? So let's say you bang your knee swells up. That's inflammation. Yeah. Right? You need that process to happen naturally, otherwise you couldn't repair your knee.
That's right. It's a protection thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's
exactly.
It, yeah.
Your gut can do that as well. Yeah. A lot of conditions can come from the gut.
Mine's doing a lot of protection right now. So.
Exactly. Yeah, it's ready. So omega-3 is anti-inflammatory. So if you're having a more omega-3 rich diet, it will actually keep you leaner, keep you healthier. Oh, okay. Everything works better. Really helps the gut to be clean and reduce any conditions that you may get. Whereas omega-6 in excess, which is in anything processed seed oils, like you've got like rapeseed oil, vegetable oil, sunflower oil, all those kind of oils. Most fast food you get would have that in it because it's cheaper. Yeah. If you go to a restaurant, you normally see the massive gallon drums of like sunflower oil, vegetable oil, because they're just really cheap to make, right? Yeah. And they're the ones that are going to really mess you up, because the diet should be much closer to omega-3, but currently it's way skewed towards omega-6, like exponentially. So it's really important to have more omega-3 in the diet, which you get from fish and seafood, stuff like that. But you can also get omega-3 from the meat sources as well.
Right. Oh, so that's why you're better off sort of like when you do picking those meat. Yeah. Actually going to sound a little bit cleaner, like grass-fed, organic, that sort of thing.
I mean,
because it's like a branded thing, isn't it? You see, organic, grass-fed. You mean, what is actually the difference? You know, like, other than the price, there's got to be a benefit to it, surely. Yeah.
So organic will be the conditions and the pesticides. Right. We know pesticides, that's why. Yeah. And to do with like fruit and vegetables, there's, I don't know if you've heard this before, but there's something called the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen.
Oh, no, I haven't known that.
That every year.
Okay.
So I'd look it up. I can send you a link.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
It's changed every year. So basically, the Clean 15 are the 15 least sprayed crops with pesticides. So if they're not organic, it's actually not a big deal.
Right. And can that change year on year?
Yeah, every year.
Right, okay, I see.
There's always ones that are similar that are normally on there, but it does change a little bit each year.
Okay.
Like they update it regularly. And Dirty Dozen is the opposite. It's the most common sprayed crops with pesticides. So they're ones you want to get organic because they have a lot more pesticides.
Right. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So there's ways to work around it where you're not always breaking the bank of organic food. Like some foods you're better off spending money on for organic food. Some foods you're like, it's not necessarily worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. No, thanks very much.
That's all right.
Yeah, cheers.
And then the meat, grass-fed I would always recommend. I personally go to either a butcher's, or I actually used to go to Smith Hill's meat market in London.
Oh, yeah.
Where honestly...
Is that closing down?
I think it's moved to Dagenham.
Oh, okay.
It's moving.
Yeah.
I think, is it 2028? I think it's moving.
Right. Okay. I thought I did hear. Bound to be developments, obviously. But yeah.
But the grass-fed meat there is so cheap in comparison.
Really?
So cheap. So rump steak depends on where you buy it from. But what steak do you buy? What cut?
Not normally rump and fillet.
Yeah.
But I once got this. A friend of mine, he's proper into his outdoor cooking. So he has this massive garden done, like a kitchen in his garden. Brilliant. And he had this huge steak. Like it was a mixture of all steaks. But he bought it from a butcher's in Ireland, but they delivered to his house. I can't remember the name of the butcher's. But anyway, on their website, they had Thor's hammer. Have you seen this? It is Thor's hammer, like, but it's just a massive meat.
I've seen that before. I bought it before, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. So
it's not from that place, but I've seen it.
Okay, yeah. But so I cooked that for about 24 hours, and like the bone just slipped out, and
it's like lamb shank. Like.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Actually, yeah, very similar. Yeah. And then I bought a tomahawk from them as well, which was also very, very nice. But in the main, usually fillet and rump.
Yeah. So rump steak depends where you buy it from. Like how much you pay per kilo. Do you know?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
That's what you want to look out for.
Okay, right.
So,
okay.
Depends where you get it from. I would say London would be more expensive. It might be around £25 a kilo, maybe more.
Okay.
Sometimes less. I used to get it for £20 a kilo before, but London could be £25 a kilo, maybe around that. Sometimes less. But from Smithfield, when I was a kid, I used to get it for, when I was a kid, I mean like 18. Yeah. I used to get it for £7 a kilo.
Yeah.
It's now recently gone up to £9 a kilo, but you compare
that's still pretty good though.
You compare that. So it was £7 a kilo, which is like 3 times cheaper.
Yeah.
So it's insane how much money you save if you can make the effort to find someone like that.
Yeah.
So there is ways around it.
So well, that's probably why everyone was up in arms when the news came out. That's actually moving.
Yeah.
So
it's not for a few years yet, but yeah.
Yeah. To make the most of it.
Yeah.
So 6 pillars. Talk me through that.
These are the 6 pillars of health. If you master these pillars, your life will change forever. They're the main pillars you want to master in your life to be able to live a better life, have more health freedom, and just really understand your body on a deeper level. So they start with exercise and movement, which is basically just how you move about your day in terms of your total movement as well as your training. So both count. They're slightly different. Nutrition and hydration. So hydration is just as important as nutrition because, we're staying hydrated here.
Yes.
If you're not hydrated, it really affects your performance. So it's a big factor. Then you've got sleep, which we spoke about briefly, which is a massive factor because if you're not recovering from what you're doing, whether it's business, being a busy parent, having a podcast, whatever you're doing, training for a marathon, you need to sleep. You need to recover. It's how everything in the body repairs and recovers. If you don't sleep, you will struggle to repair and regenerate new cells, basically. Yeah. And you've got mindset because how you see things, how you think about things affects how everything develops. So the difference between someone who is elite and someone who is good or professional would be partially, genetics, but partially more so I'd say the mindset, how they think about things, how they see problems. They see opportunities rather than problems. Yeah. They see a way to get better. They don't just see, oh, this is a problem, I can't deal with this is hard. They would see, right, how do I get over it? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So true. Yeah, it's brilliant.
And then you've got stress management, which who doesn't need that?
Yeah.
We've all got stress in our life, right? It's different from person to person. So stress could be, for one person, it could be getting their kids to go to bed on time, right? For one person, it could be their daily workload. For one person, it could be arguing with their spouse.
Yeah.
Right? There's loads of different scenarios. It could be an athlete's training schedule, right? But it's managing your day-to-day stress. And I partially believe managing people as well, because some people give you more grief when you're like, just leave me alone. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Definitely.
So having techniques to manage stress. There's loads of techniques you can use. So I cover this all in my courses and working privately with my clients. But learning how to manage stress is one of the best skills you can learn in life because it just buys you back time, buys you back freedom. Right? And who doesn't want that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And the final pillar is circadian rhythm. So do you know what that is?
Is that when you sort of go to sleep on time at a certain time and you wake up?
Got it. Yeah. Basically, it's your sleep-wake cycle.
Yeah.
So when the sun goes up and the sun goes down.
Yeah.
That's how we're designed to know when to wake up and when to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be more awake when the sun's out. Hence why everyone loves the summer. Yeah. And then more asleep when the sun's down. So when it starts getting towards winter, gets darker, you're like more sleepy, spend more time inside.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
So if your circadian rhythm's not aligned, which for many people it's not, they just are exposed to light 24/7. So light could be TV, it could be screens, it could be your phone, it could be a laptop. If you're exposed to that all day and all night, your brain doesn't know when nighttime is.
Yeah.
You ever been to Vegas before?
Yeah.
You know what it's like? You don't know what time it is.
That's right. Yeah.
Because there's light.
It's like daylight.
Yeah.
It's constant.
Yeah. When you go outside, you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because you've been so locked up and everything's exciting. It's just all day and all night, right?
Yeah.
That's an example of messing with your circadian rhythm.
Right.
Because you're in that cycle. You don't really know when you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
So if you don't align that properly, you'll struggle with energy massively. You won't wake up. Normally you have to have, I'm sure you know this kind of person that has to have like 3 coffees before 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Because they can't function.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of someone who isn't sleeping correctly and hasn't got their circadian rhythm aligned.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, I could just go on for ages about this, because only from my own experience, something I've learned this year with the sleep and the circadian rhythm, all that sort of stuff.
Massive. Right?
I've got the Whoop band.
Me too?
Yeah.
Whoop, buddy. There you go.
And I've had it for a few years, but I cancelled it. And then I got it back at the beginning of this year. I thought, do you know what? Because I used to get really hooked on the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting too obsessed with numbers. Right, forget it. It's not working for me. Forget it. And then I thought, do you know what? This year, I'm really going to pay attention to what it actually tells me, rather than let this kind of like lead a little bit, rather than me kind of saying, no, I've got to do this, so I can't really pay attention to this. So I was like, what's the point in having it if I'm not really paying attention to it? And I really did. And that's why earlier on I mentioned about I've really respected sleep, because it tells me like what's a good time for me to wake up, like to begin with.
Yeah.
Then it says, right, what's a good time to go to bed at? And when I pay attention to it, I literally feel like a world beater the next day. Like it's amazing the difference,
powerful, right?
But it really, really is. And I know, like, we had a guest on here before, and they said, "Oh yeah, I'll go for a walk and I do this and I like." She goes, "And the best ideas come out when I'm walking." And I'm like, but people overlook these simple things. I think it's because it's been so branded and spoken about just so much. It's kind of lost its quality a little bit and its depth.
Yeah.
Like the walking, but it's just so powerful. Much like the sleep and understanding, and everyone's different.
Yeah.
As well, because I used to think that I would be getting up at like 5 a.m. I thought, yeah, but I feel knackered all day long. And then this was telling me, oh yeah, no, you've got to get up at 6:05 or 6:01, whatever it is. I thought, that's random. But when I do it, I literally at the best time. Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant. So it's really, really good. I could just go on for hours for that. But I wanted to understand, what made you come up with those 6 pillars though? How did they come about?
Because I've studied it my whole life.
Right.
I've been in the trenches doing it my whole life, like experimenting with different things. Because basically anything I give to my clients, I've tried myself and I understand how it works, how it affects the body, done various courses on it. And I just find that you can't beat real life experience. That's how you can really help someone. Because if you've been through it yourself, you know what to expect, you know what to feel, you know what to do, you know how to respond. It's a lot easier to then make progress rather than freak out if something happens. Do you know what I mean? If you've got someone in your corner that really understands it, it's much easier to then go, all right, don't panic, do this instead. You know, if you get a problem. It's because I've just found that from utilizing those pillars, it's just when one of them's out of sync, it can affect everything else. You know, like if you get all the nutrition and the training and everything right, but you don't sleep, you just feel awful. Like you can grind through it and you can do it every day, right? If you're really determined, but you will feel awful. And if you want to feel better, get your sleep sorted, that will change. But then if you're not eating the right foods, if you want to then lose body fat or build muscle, it's not going to happen. Yeah. If you don't do enough training, you can, eat as good as you want, but if you don't stimulate the muscles, they won't grow.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
And circadian rhythm's heavily tied to sleep. So if you don't have a good circadian rhythm, your sleep will be messed up as well. So it goes hand in hand. Yeah. Then if you're stressed about work and you can't manage that, you might not sleep.
Yeah.
You get the picture? So everything ties into it. If you've got a negative mindset, that will affect how you see problems, how you see, I can't lift that weight. Well, why can't you lift that weight?
Yeah. Are
you seeing it as it's impossible? Is it stuck to the ground? Or is it how you're approaching it? So it all links together. It's never just like one thing. It's a whole system. human body is an amazing machine. And if you understand it properly, which again, we'll never probably fully understand it, but we're always getting better, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But once you understand it to a decent level, you really know how to make things more optimal for your life and just live a better life. You know?
Yeah, I think it's that balance, isn't it, as well? Because some people can get really bogged down with a particular area.
Yeah.
And like you say, you then get that imbalance in another area and you think, oh, what's going on? Yeah. But I think those 6 sort of like just cover it off nicely, don't they? You know, wrap it up sort of like in a, you know, sort of, well, there's a well-balanced life in a sense, you know?
Exactly.
But do you find that like trying to focus on everything? I was talking to a friend the other day and I said, oh, life is like a tightrope. But I don't think he quite understood the depth of that statement that he mentioned. It's like spinning plates, isn't it? You're like, it's so true. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, I don't know, life's like a tightrope. And he's walked off. I was like, that's actually a really good, hold on, there's so much more to talk about now.
He's got you on the hook.
Yeah, he's walked off. I was like, hold up. Because it's so true. Because one little area just gets imbalanced and it just throws off the rest. Like you said, you get your circadian rhythm wrong, and all of a sudden you might be sleeping like 8 hours. But why am I feeling still like rubbish? And then you don't go to the gym, or you might miss a gym day, and you don't get that output, you know. And it's just crazy, you know.
And the unfortunate thing is, it might never be perfect, but it's about understanding the balance.
That's right. Yeah, you can't strive for perfection.
Yeah,
but it's just having those levels, isn't it? You know, for personally as well, because everyone's different, of course.
Yeah. So it's on understanding that it's about progression, not perfection, like I said earlier, right? If you're progressing, so if you're, you know, your Whoop, right? If you're tracking your deep and REM sleep and that's getting better, that's great. It might not be where you want it to be, but if it's better than it was last week, that's a win.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's so
what you got to take. Take your wins.
So how do you implement that in your life?
The Whoop?
The 6, sorry, beg your pardon, the 6 pillars, sorry.
Okay.
How do you kind of check in, make sure it's like balanced, or do you just feel it in yourself? Do you know what, I'm a bit sort of like, I need to have a good early night, I need to do, you know.
It's a good question. I would say from a lot of experience, a lot of different things I've done, my intuition, internal feeling is very strong to know like really fast if something's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what, not bigging myself up, but that's what the best athletes do.
Yeah.
They will know really fast if something's wrong. They'll know their internal system like the back of their hand. So if anything is wrong, they will know what to do and how to fix it. But that takes a lot of experimentation. It takes a lot of tracking. It takes a lot of understanding and just feeling things. Like if you block out emotions or block out things and don't feel things, you won't understand your body. You won't understand how you react.
Yeah.
Like have you ever walked in a room and spent time with someone and walked out and felt worse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Energy drainers.
Exactly, right? So that can affect you.
Yeah.
But if you block things out, you'll never actually know that.
Yeah.
Because you're not feeling it. But that's what athletes do, and people who are achieving high levels of things. They understand it and they learn how to adapt from that.
Yeah.
So it's about what you learn to feel internally and be okay with it. Like I was saying about pain. Pain is a part of life, unfortunately. It's going to happen whether you like it or not in some form, whether it's emotional pain, physical pain, mental pain, something's going to happen that you have to deal with. So the better you are, I believe, at taking care of your body, the better you'll be able to take care of everything else. Because when you work hard physically, you have to take care of your mind as well. Like if you're doing a marathon, if your body is not working well, you can't do it. And if you can't mentally tell yourself, right, keep going, you got this, like breathe, get in your zone. If you can't tell yourself that, you're going to struggle in other areas of life too.
Yeah.
So I think if you master that, that will affect every area of your life. Like if you want to succeed in business more, but you haven't mastered your body and your mind, you're going to struggle somewhere along the road.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah, perfect. And I when I was doing the marathon training, you mentioned about the mind. That's so true, because there was times when I had to go out for like the longer runs.
Yeah.
And my wife, she goes, she says, oh, how long are you going to be out for a run? I'll be like 2 hours. And she'd kick off. I was like, oh no, you knew this was coming. It was coming again. So what I done was, after about the third one of me struggling on this run, it would be a horrible run. I sat down at the end of it. I said, listen, do me a favour. Even if you don't like it and you're lying to me, please just, before I walk out the door, just say to me, have a good run, enjoy yourself.
Positivity.
Yeah. And then when I get back, then let me have it. You know, I don't care. But she done that from then on, and it literally changed the entire. I skipped out the house. I can't wait for this run. But it was crazy, and it all was in mind. It was crazy.
Do you know what? I listened to this study once that did studies on pilots in the army and the military, and they were looking at test scores for like how they performed in their skills in the air, and they did some feedback, and the ones that they did feedback on, some people who did the worst and the best, and they gave some people like really aggressive feedback and telling them what they did wrong, what they need to work on, and they gave some groups no feedback. And what they found was the groups that had no feedback already knew what they did wrong, but someone telling them off actually made them worse, as opposed to them internally knowing, right, they need to do it. But positive reinforcement goes a long way. Whereas if you then tell someone off constantly, like you're a naughty kid at school, it doesn't always really help. It's just like, yeah, I know I'm not doing it. Like I know that.
Yeah.
And it's just putting negative impact in their mind, and that can affect performance as well.
Yeah. It's almost like that, like when you've got like a team and they're already in the gutter, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because of that, they don't really know what they've done wrong.
Yeah.
But and it's like you telling them, it's like just kicking them while they're down as it goes. They're saying,
yeah.
I mean, why do that? They're already down. Yeah, just try and find something to pick them up, or a way of just picking them up. I
think like football managers, great, like the ones that are really successful will be good at that. Like if a team's down, and they're little rugby, whatever sport you want to pick. But if a team's losing, how do they then get the morale back in the team, and how do they get them, the captain and everyone else, to go, right, we can come back from this.
Yeah.
And that's a great skill in life to have, because how many times are you going to find yourself down and you're going to get a loss at some point? That's
just life. That happens often, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
But it's like Sir Clive Woodward was really good at this, like with the England team, and like he had his book, didn't he? Came out, and he was saying that a lot of the players were exactly like that. To begin with, they were hard on themselves. He said, I don't need to say anything. They don't believe in themselves at all. Yeah. And he then walks in, he goes, oh, we're going to win the World Cup. And like, this guy's a joker.
I think sometimes you have to have such strong self-belief. Yeah. It's almost delusional.
Yeah. But
you see it in the best athletes, their belief is so strong.
Yeah.
Like, do you know who Conor McGregor is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Who doesn't?
Just checking. But his self-belief, you can say what you want about him as a person, but his self-belief is unwavering.
Yeah.
Even when he's doing terribly losing fights, his self-belief is up there, right?
Yeah,
and you can't doubt it.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But so what I've got two more questions.
Go on.
If you had to give your younger self,
I love this question,
a bit of advice, one piece of advice, what do you think it would be? Bearing in mind that at the beginning you mentioned about you had too much energy and you were looking, or whatever, so expend that energy.
One piece. Oh, there's two pieces I really want to say.
Go for it. Go for it.
Sure?
Yeah, why not?
The first piece would be just go after what you want and don't look back. Because at the end of the day, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not happy with what you're doing, what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
I get you want financial success for a lot of people, right? I do as well. But I love what I do. So I'm so passionate, and I feel blessed to be able to do that every day, because not everyone can do that. So I feel very lucky to have found that. But I would say that. And I would say, logically, just have a system for what you do. Make life simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I definitely think go after what you really want, and not what your parents tell you to do, not what your mates tell you to do, not what the guy down the pub tells you to do if you go to the pub. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so true.
It's what you really want without the external. Like, imagine you lived in a world where there was no one around you. What would you do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that. That's brilliant, because there's a story from Les Brown. I don't know if it's true or not, but I love it anyway. So I hope it's true.
Yeah.
But where he says that his friend fell in, there were two boys in the woods, and his friend fell in the lake. It was an iced over lake, and they were sort of like just messing around in the lake. And then the friend fell in, and his friend then ran back, got a branch, ripped it off the tree, or pulled it off the tree, and then got his friend out of it. And then they said, how the hell did this little boy do that? And because no one was around to tell him that he couldn't.
Yeah, I love that.
And it was like just brilliant. Like, but the way he said it was like as if he goes, oh yeah, I spoke to a friend the other day. He told me like it's an true story. But so I'm like, I really hope that was true. But nonetheless, I love the element of the story there. It's brilliant. You think because no one was around to tell him that he couldn't.
Yeah.
And that just goes exactly into what you just said.
I love that. It's like the amount of things you'll do because everyone else does it. Like it's like monkey see, monkey do, right?
Yeah.
You walk into London, everyone walks fast.
Yeah.
You walk fast because you're like, oh, I've got to keep up. I'm going to get knocked over in a minute. If you go to Jamaica, one of the best holidays I ever had.
Yeah.
You cannot stress anyone out there. It doesn't matter what you say. They're like,
Yeah.
they don't care what you say.
So true.
They'll go at their own pace, do what they want when they want.
Yeah.
They couldn't care less about what you say. They're nice people, but
yeah. I've been too. I loved it.
Oh,
it was
it's
a
lovely,
brilliant
right?
place. Yeah, I
where
loved
did you
it.
go?
Many years ago, but we done horseback riding.
Oh, nice.
And the guy, and I've got a video of this guy. He's brilliant. He said, "Oh, I'll take your camera for you," but he's commentating, and we love it because that Jamaican accent. We listen to it back. We're like, "I love it. It's so slow and chilled." Yeah. I love it. It's brilliant. So it was a great place. I agree.
Yeah, really good.
And the final thing is where can people find you? Where do you think is the best place that people can find you?
So I'm on Instagram, _lifestyle_revolution is my Instagram handle, and LinkedIn at Byron Munford, my name.
Okay, brilliant. Byron,
Awesome.
It's been a pleasure.
You too.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.